We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Lions Lounge Lockdown, episode 54. Andy Keogh. Andy, thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks, mate. My pleasure.
Fresh out of training?
Fresh back from training, yeah. Just enjoying the summer weather here and enjoying the lifestyle.
For those who don't know, where you playing now?
Perth Glory in Australia. Been here for on and off 7 years now.
Wow. Decent. Okay, so today, obviously, we're going to talk about your time at Millwall. It was a strange one because it's 2 years at the club, but it actually spanned across 3 seasons, 3 managers, FA Cup semi-final, relegations. There's plenty to talk about. But to start out, let's delve right back. Irish lad, come through the ranks at Leeds, Scunthorpe, and then Wolves. What made you want to finally make the move south to London?
I got a bad injury at Wolves and I've been out on loan a few times. So it came to a point where I needed to, find a home. And Kenny Jackett was very interested, and he called me a few times, and he told me his ambitions, and I just really got a good vibe off him and his assistant Joe Gallen, and I decided to go with the move to Millwall, and they made a cheeky little bid and it got accepted. So and then I found myself in South London.
Yeah, so I remember at the time I'm thinking, just blowing your trumpet because you're on the show. We don't usually get strikers like you. Come from a higher end side, score lots of goals. It was exciting times for the club. I think it was only about $500,000 we managed to get you for as well.
Yeah, it was a decent price. Not in the scale of football these days, but I would have been just considered a good championship player, and nothing too extravagant. But I thoroughly enjoyed it when I came to Millwall. It was, obviously coming from Wolves, we've been in the Premier League for 3 years. I'd seen a lot of investment in the club, and it brought me back to a bit of reality and a bit of get your head down and let's show people what you can do again.
Yeah, because Millwall isn't always, shall we say, a preferred choice for professionals. Some are a bit like, oh fuck, I'm not going there. But what was your first impressions of the club when you did arrive?
Yeah, I loved it. If you're going to be honest, the training ground could be better. But it had 2 nice pitches that were in mint condition most of the time. They had a decent change room. They had showers, they had a gym, they had a lunch area. So you don't need much more. People can go a bit OTT at the times with facilities and infrastructure and staff members, but it was a good family club with good characters and good honest people that wanted the best for the club.
Yeah. Mentioned him there quickly, Kenny Jackett, because on this show we've done a lot of players from the 80s, 90s and 90s, but we've not really so far dipped our toe into your sort of era. So the fans loved him. What was he like, KJ, for you as a manager?
No, it was brilliant. He was tactically astute, an empathetic man who had a real sensitive side to him behind the scenes, and just a good, honest person who would tell you exactly how it was. I would always try do what was best for you. Yeah, like I said, he was just a great, honest man. With a lot of strings to his bow, tactically great. Good personality, understood human emotions, and he had a great sidekick in Joe Gallen who complimented him fantastically.
Joe Gallen, was that Kevin Gallen's brother?
Yeah. He was the assistant for a good few years. He goes with Kenny everywhere.
Yeah.
Great combo, those two. Obviously, they went to Wolves after Millwall, and the rest is history. They're back in the Prem, killing it really, thanks to Kenny's hard work in the lower leagues.
They're still there now, still going now. Leighton Orient now, aren't they?
Yeah, they've gone to Portsmouth, then over to Leighton Orient. So that's what they do. They rebuild clubs. They make them better than when they came in, and it's a credit to them.
Oh, brilliant. And when you came in, I was just looking, your first season, absolutely hit the ground running, 10 goals in 18 games. Unbelievable start for you.
It was fantastic. But I had the bit between my teeth. I really wanted to prove a point. and it helped that that Harry Kane came in on loan as well.
Mm.
And I think he was maybe, to be honest, he was maybe struggling a little bit to start with. But me and him, then when we got playing together, we clicked, complemented each other. You know, I do a lot of running in a game, as people would know, and I think that helped Harry a lot, and it let his skill and his attributes shine immensely in that back half of the season as well.
Yeah, what was he like as a character? I suppose he was only a young kid at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was young, but he was confident. He knew what he wanted. He didn't care. He'd take a shot on if he wanted to. You know, he wasn't afraid of older pros around him. He was quiet in the change room, driven. You know, you could tell he was going to go places. To the heights he's been, I'm not so sure I thought that at the time. I knew he'd be very, very good. But you know, he's just obviously that dedicated that he's excelled like ridiculously in such a short space of time. Back after his other loan moves to Norwich and Leicester, he really he must have learned a lot from them as well.
Yeah,
And came back, you know, to become Spurs' main man.
yes, crazy man. Obviously, he was a young player, but just, I don't know. He didn't seem to have the go in him almost, did he? Or any turn of pace or anything, which he still really hasn't got. But he's just a great player these days, isn't he? Unbelievable.
Yeah, good. I heard he went to a sprint coach in America to work on his acceleration and speed. So you know, he's, as I said, like at the start, he's a very dedicated guy, and he thoroughly deserved to get where he is now.
Mm. So it's an interesting one because a lot of strikers at the club when you joined, we already had Darius Henderson, Patrick Agyemang, Harry Kane, Sean Batt, John Marquis, Josh McCoy. There's already a lot of competition in your position, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, but it was obviously obviously they paid money for me, and I knew that Kenny wanted me, so it was that was a confidence booster straight away. And then it's like any squad. Once you get on the pitch, it's up to you to prove your place in the team and go from there.
Mm. What was he like, the big man, Darius Henderson? He was crackers, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was brilliant on and off the pitch, and he was, you know, just did exactly what he said on the tin. He bullied defenders. He used his strength. He used his personality to build people up around him. You know, fantastic guy, and a great player in his day as well.
Yeah, there was a few Millwall legends knocking around still at the club at that point as well. David Ford, of course, fellow Irishman, Tony Craig, Alan Dunn, Jimmy Abdu.
Yeah, it was a good squad of guys. You know, just good lads that had each other's back. You know, there was great camaraderie around the dressing room. I think that showed obviously in the back half of that season with the results we pulled off, and going into the next season, we were top 4 up until Christmas.
I was looking at the stats yesterday, and it was like that first season for you. Looking at the result of Keogh everywhere. You're scoring loads of goals.
Yeah, it was great time. And then, like I said, up until that Christmas 2012, I think it was. We were top 4 coming into Christmas, and then obviously we lost Chris Wood, who'd come on loan, and we never replaced him. Had a couple of injuries, and we just sort of scraped survival come the end of that season, which was disappointing considering where we were.
Getting back to that first season when you came in, so I'm going to nick a little bit. Obviously, I watched it Under the Cosh on their show, and a little story you told on there, if you wouldn't mind telling it, where Kenny Jackett said, so along the lines of, I know you boys are out boozing, but you keep fucking winning, so there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. You had Joe Gallen, who was the sidekick, and he was, you know, he'd always get amongst the boys and figure out what was going on. And, you know, we got to a stage where we were just winning every Saturday, like 2-0, 2-1, 3-2. Massive results, or away at Burnley, smashing them 3-0, Peterborough away 3-1, whatever it was. We were just winning. And so, like, you know, there was a good 10 of us who were in our mid-20s. So we're in London, why not? Most of us are single, we'll just go out and enjoy our life. And we were just doing it, and we were out, and we would probably overindulge, and we'd come in, and, you know, a few of the boys might be, me included, might be stinking a bit from the night before. And yeah, you know, Joe wasn't stupid. He could tell. Kenny could tell. But you know, we train hard. We'd sweat it out. We train hard. And then one day, he pulls me and a couple of the boys, and he just goes, "Ah, you know, he's very like dry. Oh, you think you're doing good, do you?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're not doing too bad, Gaffer. We're playing pretty well." You know, being honest. And he was like, yeah. You don't think I know that you're out every weekend, Sunday, Saturday, Monday? You know? I was like, he goes, yeah. The only problem is, you keep fucking winning, so I can't do anything about it. And I was like, oh, we better keep winning then. He was like, yeah, you better.
That's just good man management then, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Listen, as long as he was getting his results, and I'm sure, you know, and there might have been the odd one in there where we didn't win, but he would have assessed it and thought, you know, let's see what the next one comes. And he wouldn't have jumped the gun. And that's was one of his strengths, his man management. He was, you know, he was top notch at that.
Yeah, great manager for us. Just sort of petered out at the end. Moving on to the 2012-13 season, it was his last in charge. It was, as I say, we battled relegation, but of course a brilliant FA Cup run that year as well. Chris Wood, you said, Harry Kane left, Chris Wood came in. He was some player for us. I know he weren't there long, but I think he was like 11 in 14 games, and he's a great striker.
Yeah, he was good. He was very similar to Harry, like just could hold the ball up well, probably better than Harry at that actually, and he could score goals. He was the perfect guy for me to play with again. That's the type of player that I thrive with, that I do well with. And we did do well. You know, we had some big results. We beat Wolves 1-0 away at Molineux. We beat Blackburn away 2-1. All in November. Nottingham Forest, we smashed 4-1 away in November. Like, we were killing it. And then obviously he left. But we continued the cup run with the team we had, which maybe was a bit of a distraction to the season, which maybe sort of contributed to us not doing so well in the league in the back half. But you know, but the FA Cup, and to be honest, I still have regrets about that because we were only playing Wigan. Yeah, we could have beat them. We could have beat them.
No,
you know, it was difficult. It wasn't like, you know, wasn't like he got drawn against an Arsenal or a Man City or a Liverpool.
We couldn't get near him. No, we couldn't get near him on the day. We just couldn't get near him.
We couldn't get near him on the day. I think the occasion got the better of us. Maybe it was just we just didn't get the rub of the green. We needed something early. We needed a bit of something to get the crowd going, to get us something to dig in and hold on to. But that's one of the biggest regrets in my career, actually, that game, because for Millwall to get to another FA Cup final in that circumstance would have been incredible.
Just talk about the skipper, the big man. It's what we do. Danny Shitsu. What was he like as a character?
Yeah, I mean, brilliant. I catch up with him every now and again when I come back to London. I was at a wedding with him a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago now. Great relationship, me and him. He was brilliant. But you know, I played against him when he was at Watford, and I was at Wolves, and you know, I used to harass him and kick him, and he just demolished me in tackles. So we had a good professional understanding before we met, and then you know, we got on like a house on fire.
What about the big man between the sticks, fellow Irishman? He's been on the show, David Ford.
Yeah, he he helped me settle in. He was great. You know, he had a good couple of seasons when I was there as well. He got himself into the Irish setup and got himself a good few caps, which was you know, great towards the back end of his career for him. So you know, full credit to him. He was probably more so not a late developer, but just like someone that got his chance later on in his career. And it was great to see you know, another Irishman at the club and doing well.
So we'll pick your brains about one last player, because I thought he was brilliant. James Henry, what was he like?
Yeah, he was very good. When I first came, I wasn't too sure. I was thinking, he's not bad. But then the next season, he went up a new level. He really excelled. He was probably our player of the season that year. He was constantly had great energy, great acceleration, great dribbling ability. And, you know, I think, to be honest, I think he's probably underachieved in his career. And from what I've seen and trained with every day, I expected him to, to be more of a consistent top end championship player.
Yeah.
But it didn't. He went to Wolves and he got his promotions with there, and he stayed there for a bit. And but I've seen a lot of potential in him. But at the end of the day, everyone makes their own choices, and he made his, and he's not done too bad for himself. And on top of that, he was a great lad. Really good bloke. So I have nothing but good praise for him.
Talking about choices, Kenny Jackett made one. He leaves the club. What do you remember when Jay left?
Well, he actually, at the end of season awards, we'd been to the FA Cup. We just survived. And I was in the toilet having a piss, and he actually came in and he said, he was like, because we had a great relationship, me and him. He was just like, he said, sorry, Andy. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, sorry, I didn't replace Chris Wood when he left. I just couldn't replace him with anything. Goes for your play there and without a strike partner. He goes, I'm sorry. And I looked at it and I sort of was like, that was a bit weird. And I was like, and then I sort of had a feeling, I think he's leaving. I was in my head, he's leaving, because no one expected him to leave. And then a week later, lo and behold, he resigned.
Yeah. Do you think it was because they didn't give him the funds to replace Wood, or?
Yeah, I do. I think he was sick of battling. He was constantly battling in the championship, and he just wanted, because he had the ability as a manager to create something better if he was given a better budget. So I think he was like, and so I thought, and he just got Millwall to the FA Cup semi-final as well. His stock was high, so he probably seen that Wolves had been relegated. They were probably going to need a new manager, and lo and behold, he became the Wolves manager. And funny enough, I was in Dubai on holiday, and I got a phone call off the sporting director of Wolves asking for a reference on Kenny Jackett. And well, I tell you what, Kenny owes me a few beers after.
I can already tell that's gone well. You're full of praise for him.
And then by all accounts, when he signed the contract over at Wolves, the sporting director Kev Telwell said to him, you got a good one there in Andy Keogh. He gave you a glowing reference. Just giving him a bit of band.
Well, he didn't return the favour because he left the club, and Steve Lomas becomes the new manager.
No, he didn't. I'm sure he had nothing to do with that signing.
So yeah, what was he when you hear Steve Lomas is the new manager of the club? What was your first impressions of that before you even met him?
I had no impression. I never judge someone. I would never ever judge someone till I know them. Doesn't matter what you've done in football. It's just, let me see who the person is. Let me see how they act as a human being. That's first, like,
really fighting a losing battle, wasn't he, with the Millwall fans? Because obviously he came from he was obviously ex-West Ham, and I think he came from Scottish football. Didn't he really manage in St Johnstone or something like that?
Yeah, St Johnstone. That doesn't help, But again, just because he played for West Ham doesn't mean that he's not going to be a good manager for Millwall. Do you know what I mean? That was my point of view. So let's see what he's about, and then let's see what he's like tactically and getting the team set up to win.
What was your first encounter with him?
I'd been away with the Irish team, and so I had an extra week off. So I came back, and he pulled me in. I just went and smashed out my fitness testing and that, and he was saying like, "Oh, you're gonna play with Steve Morrison. We brought him back on loan. You and Steve. I know you'll play well with a bigger guy, which is true. And we'll go from there." And so I was like, "Okay, yeah, great. Like, let's see how this goes." He's saying he was signing a lot of players, but it slowly unravelled where he signed too many players, and he couldn't handle all the personalities. Couldn't handle it. He got bullied into decisions. He got bullied into playing players that kicked off at him. He had no, he just for me, he just couldn't make a solid decision.
He seems like comes across as when he was a player like a bit of a hard man as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I never played against him, so yeah, I'm sure, but he certainly wasn't a hard man as a manager, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we're saying it's a completely different type of character. So it didn't work out for you under him. Was you slumped quickly out of the team, or?
Well, where does it begin? So I played the first couple of games. I scored 2 and 4 or something like that, so I was doing all right. And then he'd signed like Scott McDonald, he'd signed Steve Morrison, he'd signed a couple of other attackers, Richard Chaplow, some couple of Nicky Bailey, a couple of that. Like, so he just dropped me, didn't tell me why, didn't put me on. I was like, yeah, grand, whatever. Slowly, it just, next game, same old. So I got on to my agent, I was like, right, he doesn't want me, so he's not playing me. I'm not here to sit around and do nothing. Like, I could see the writing on the wall, so I was like, no problem. Let's see what's out there. Danny Ings had just got injured for Burnley, so Sean Dyche was on to my agent, and he was like, "I'll have Andy. We'll take him on a 6-month loan with a view to a 2-year deal." Burnley were top of the championship. Bearing in mind that when Danny Ings got fit, he was only out for 3 months or something like that, but he wanted me to replace Danny Ings at the time, and I knew that once Danny Ings is back, I probably wouldn't play, but at least I'd be on the bench for a top of the championship team and not Millwall, not even coming on.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And so anyway, the agent got on to Lomas, and it was like, how much do the club need to pay? And they were like 60% minimum of his wages. So he was like, straight away on the phone, he was like, done. I've got Burnley, they're going to take him. And he was like, then he started backtracking. He went, oh no, he can't go to Burnley. And he was like, what do you mean? You said he can go on loan. Yous are the ones that said he can go on loan. And now we won't let him go to Burnley. He was like, nah. So he was like, well, that doesn't make sense. He was like, he can't be seen to go into Burnley, top of the championship, and not playing here at Millwall.
Yeah. That spitting feathers over that, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So the 2 days later, my agent calls me and goes, you can go to Yeovil Town. They just got promoted to the championship.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
you can go to Yeovil Town on loan, and I just started laughing. Going, there's not a fucking chance in hell I'm going down to Yeovil. Yeah, I've got Burnley knocking on the door, said get me there. Anyway, they wouldn't budge, wouldn't let me, just let me rot away in the stands. So I've just had enough one day, and I've just gone knocking on his door. I went, what's going on? You said I can go on loan. And then he turns around to me and goes, I never said that. I went, you're lying. You're just lying to my face here. You said I can go on loan. I said, now that I've come to you with Burnley, embarrassed to let me go there. I said, I should be playing in your team now, but you're not having me play, no problem. And I was training my heart out, like giving it, even like players like Richard Chaplow and Lee Martin were coming up to me saying, how are you not playing? You're training like an animal here. And I was like, I don't know. So anyway, I left his office because he lied to my face, and I was like, so I'm walking out to training, straight to training, and Tim Breaker's there, the assistant, and he's like, you okay? And Andy, I was like, leave me alone, Tim. Like, and something just snapped in my head. I just seen it, and Lomas is on the other side of the pitch walking out, and then I'm just like, I just switch. I was like, and I started shouting at him from across the pitch, "Oi, oh you fucking prick!" I was like, you're a fucking shithouse. And then I just lost it. Like, I hope you get fucking sacked. I hope you get sacked. And Tim's like, you can't say that. You can't say that. And a couple of the boys were there, like with their hands on their mouth, going, "Oh my god, he can't." Is he shouting that across the pitch? So anyway, I've gone home and I've calmed down. And that was around November. About a month later, we have a few injuries. I'm still in the stands, not doing anything, and we're playing Watford away on December 26th.
Yeah.
And on December 23rd, 24th, one of those days, we had a few injuries, players suspended, not available, and we're playing a 4-4-1-1, and he puts me in on the right wing.
When was the last time you played? Previous to that, when was the last time you played?
Oh, like 2.5 months before that.
Oh, really? Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. So he puts me in on the right wing. Bearing in mind, I played my whole time at Millwall, I've been a striker.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, let's see. He's put me in. And he's like, yeah, this is the team, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Watford at second top of the championship with, like, they were bopping teams, Deeney, Buckley on the wing, Much, they were killing teams. And I was looking at it going, holy God, I'm on the wing here. I'm just going to be slogging up and down for this that wouldn't let me go, because I have no respect for him. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. So then I was thinking, you know what? I don't want to play for him. I've no respect for him. Don't want to play for him. So then we go home, and then we were meant to meet the next day, Christmas, obviously. And I just rang him, and I just rang the assistant. And I'm not feeling well. I won't make it.
Oh, dear.
Now people will look at me and go, "Oh, that's a shit thing to do." And I was like, "Well, if anyone knows me, they know I've always been a team player, and I always done, like, I'll run more than anyone on the pitch. I'll chase, I'll harry, leave my heart out on the pitch." But I was like, you know what? This guy's treated me so bad, and he's actually potentially fucked my career up, because if I go to Burnley and they get promoted, I've got a 2-year deal with a Premiership team.
Yeah.
And he's done that for his own benefit, because he didn't want to be seen to allow me to go somewhere that was and do better at a higher in the table than Millwall. So I was like, Joe, I'm not helping you.
Yeah.
So I just said, nah, fuck it, I'm not. And then anyway, lo and behold, they go play Millwall. Millwall play Watford, and they get smacked 5-1. And Lomas gets the sack straight after the game, and he comes in and he says, and he said something like, I wasn't there, obviously, one of the lads told me this, and that fucking Irish not saying he's sick, not coming to the game. And I was like, and then in my head I was like, good. I was like, sorry, Steve, I didn't just get you sacked. You got yourself sacked from all the shit decisions you made the last 3 months.
I bet when you've got that phone call that he said that, you've got one back, and I bet you was like that. Cheers, Steve.
Yeah, well, so I was like, cheers. And you know what? I'm not proud of it, because I'd do anything for my team at the time.
Yeah.
But at this stage, it was like, nah, I have to stick up for myself here.
Yeah.
I'm not being mugged off and walked all over. It's like, you try and mug me off, you won't let me go on loan. You try shit me to Yeovil like I'm a fucking shit player. I was like, nah, I'm not having that. So I was like, I'll let you make your own bed. I'm not going to help you out now when you got injuries and suspensions just because. I said that, and that's the whole point of being a good manager and a man manager. You keep your whole squad happy, so when you do need them, they're there ready, fit and fire, and ready for you to die for you on the pitch.
I mean, you said that he said to you, "Oh, Steve Morrison's come back to play for us," and you'd obviously already been at the club scoring goals. So why do you think, what changed in his mindset? All of a sudden he didn't want you in the side, or?
He brought Scott McDonald in paid him good wages. He probably wanted to his own players.
Yeah, he's more of a, wasn't he?
What he wanted to do.
More of a 10, Scott McDonald. He played like in the hole a little bit more than a striker, though, didn't
he? Yeah, so he'd sort of just play him off Morrison a bit. He could have played me there easy, but yeah, and like I said, he's probably doing that. But I would have respected him more if he, like, you know, I don't rate you as a player. Off you go. I get myself something. He lets me go. Instead, he was like, don't really rate you as a player, but I'm not going to let you go because I don't want to look like a mug because you go into a top of the table team. And, you know, for me, he's got shit morals, shit values, totally and utterly selfish, looking for himself, not looking for the best interests of the players around him and letting them progress their careers regardless of how they look. And ultimately, like I said, he got the sack, and it was deserved because the team wasn't playing well. He assembled a bit of a mitchy-matchy squad where people didn't really fit in the system. So, yeah, he got what he deserved. And I've never spoken to him since, and I never will.
And then after that, you would have had Neil Harris temporarily, wouldn't you? Neil Harris come in and with Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Neil came in for one game, which was the cup game. I think they lost to Southend. I didn't play in that because I was sort of like told to just cool off for a bit.
I bet you couldn't wait to get into training that first day. That first day, but you couldn't wait to get into training.
I didn't care, mate. To be honest, I was just like, well, I was like, I knew it was coming. Like, you get what you deserve in life. Do you know what I mean? You actually get what you deserve. And
whether you was here or not that day at Watford, it was coming at some point anyway, wasn't it, for him?
Even if I played in that game, we're still getting beat the same score.
Yeah.
It's just because the way he set the team up and the players he put in the certain positions, it was destined for failure, and everyone knew that. And I'm not the only one. There'd be a lot of players in that squad that would say the same. You know, you ask Alan Dunn probably. Ask Alan Dunn about Steve Lomas. He'd tell you the same. He'd tell you that he's a liar and that he's a shithouse, and he wouldn't, you know, honor his word. He'd tell you that. And anyway, yeah, he was gone, and then Elliot Holloway came in and he gave a fresh slate, and I played in his first game and we beat Ipswich 1-0. Played in a couple more, and then I think, to be honest, I was one of the highest earners in the club, and he told me that he needed to get rid of me on loan because he needed to bring 3 players in on my wage.
Would you say I'm not going to Yeovil?
Yeah, so I'm not going to Yeovil. And he was like, and he was honest. He said, like, and I just respected that straight away. I was like, yeah, fair play. And I actually spoke to him throughout when I did go on. I went on loan to Blackpool, and I spoke to him throughout. And then he called me at the end of my loan, and he told me, he was like, "Fair play to you. Like, I scored a goal that kept Blackpool, kept them up that season."
Yeah,
he was like, "Fair play to you. You've gone. You've done your job for them, and just to let you know, we won't be renewing your contract, but." You know, thanks for your efforts, etc., and for being professional. I went, no problem, man. Really appreciated it. I loved your training sessions. I'll actually steal a few of your drills for when I do my coaching. You know, let's keep in touch, and it'd be great to be able to pick your brains in the future. And he was like, no problem, Andy, absolutely. And you know, that's all I needed. It's just, it doesn't matter if someone rates you or not. It's just respect and being a good human being.
It's I mean, obviously Millwall fans feel the same way about Ian Holloway as they do about Steve Lomas. However, all the players I've had on that worked under Holloway said loved him.
Good man manager with a bit of craziness in him and a bit of difference, but there's nothing wrong with that. And he was dedicated. He was emotional to the club. He was emotional to the players in terms of sharing things that he wouldn't probably share with a lot of people. And he was nothing but good things to say about him, even though my time with him was brief.
What happened with the Burnley deal? That dead in the water?
Dead in the water. They signed, well, here you go. Here's a good one. They signed Ashley Barnes from Brighton. And guess who's still at Burnley banging away the Prem? Ashley Barnes. So, fair play to him.
No bad feelings there on that one.
He's a better player than me anyway. They did well not getting me and they're getting him.
So yes, eventually you left the club, and then where'd you go after Mill? Was it Blackpool?
I went to Blackpool for a couple of months on loan just to finish my contract, and then that's when I was a free agent, and that's when I left and came to Australia. Perth
Glory, you playing for now, aren't you?
Yeah, Perth. Yeah, I came there and been here, like I said, on and off for 7 years. Had a little stint in Thailand and in Saudi Arabia, which was fantastic. And now I've got my Aussie passport, so I've got dual citizenship, which is great for me and the family and the kids. You know, and living the dream, really.
Still scoring goals? Still scoring goals?
Still scoring a few, yeah. I got goal of the year last year, so I've still got something.
What? Just slightly off the subject, I was doing my research yesterday and I typed in Andy Keogh and it come up, Andy Keogh, Usain Bolt.
Yeah, it was just someone just asked me on a podcast, like, what's his touch like? And I just gave an honest answer. I just said that it's touch like a trampoline, to be honest. And then obviously it's got like blown out of proportion because of that. But I mean, I was just telling the truth. He did have a touch like a trampoline, and but he would have been very beneficial advertising
Yeah.
wise for the league.
Did you play against him or train
But
him, or
you know,
where was your encounter
no,
with him?
I didn't. I didn't. I just watched him in a. I watched
Oh,
him in a friendly game. I didn't. I didn't get. He didn't. He didn't end up staying. They didn't sign him because, to be honest, he wasn't good enough. And
was Shane Lowry? Shane Lowry played for Perth Glory.
yeah, he came as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, I was supposed to come on the show and he just vanished on me, so I might chase him down. But anyway, listen, mate, really appreciate you coming on. I always finish with two questions. One, a standout memory of your time as a Millwall player.
Ooh, standout memory would have to be scoring the winner Wolves at Molineux for Millwall to win 1-0. And when I scored the goal, all the Millwall fans were chanting my name, and all the Wolves fans joined in as well, even though I just scored against them.
Oh, really?
So that was a pretty epic night. That was me doing my best for my club and my old club, appreciating what I did for them.
Yeah. Did you give it the old respect thing, or did you celebrate?
I didn't celebrate. I didn't celebrate.
Fair enough, mate. What would you say your best goal was? I know it's your most enjoyable, but like technically your best goal for us.
Oh, my best goal. Oh, I scored a few good ones. I'd say I scored Blackpool at home when we drew the wall last season. First goal, just Henry Diag. I controlled it with my left foot outside the box and placed it with like a half volley in the bottom corner from about 20 yards. That was very technical and executed perfectly.
Yeah, I was watching a few of your goals back yesterday. Some really good ones in there. And I always finish with the same question. If you could have a reunion tomorrow, one last night out with three of your old ex-Millwall teammates, who are you taking? Which three?
Liam Feeney, Liam Trotter, and Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. He's still going strong as well, I think, isn't he?
Yeah. He is.
Brilliant, mate. Listen, I really appreciate your time, mate. Thanks for coming on the show and all the best over there in Australia.
All right, mate. Nice one. Take it easy.
Legend. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.